Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dom from Cruze Talk, here to post a video on how to install this aftermarket trunk switch I found on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. But I have a 2013 Cruze LT. Obviously you can tell doesn't have an original trunk button in here. In the place of this normally is the SRS indicator light for the passenger airbag, but in the process of this I'll show you how to take that out and where to put it, as well as install this piece. So have fun. Alright guys, here are the tools you're going to need for this job. I just have a 7mm socket. That's going to be for the black trim piece. Here underneath there's a bunch of bolts holding it on that we're going to need to pop this out. Just a regular Phillips screwdriver, some wire cutters, because we will be going directly to the BCM to wire the switch, some plastic trim removal tools. You can get away with using a flat blade screwdriver, but as I did the first time, you leave itty bitty marks sometimes if you're not careful enough in the plastic. But anytime I use trim removal tools, that does not happen. So it is definitely something that is worth buying if you don't have one already. It will save any scratches or I guess dents on any plastic pieces, or especially if you've wrapped or hydro dipped any of these trim pieces here, you'll be able to save the paint or the vinyl wrap you did on it. And then we'll need a zip tie or two and some electrical tape, obviously. So before we get started, as you can tell, I have the car in neutral. Obviously e-brake is up. If you're manual, you know what to do, don't have to worry about it. But in an automatic, definitely put it in neutral. Just gonna buy you some extra room right around here to pull this out so the shifter isn't in your way at all. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to take out these two trim pieces here. We'll start with kind of digging it in here and just popping it, and then you can just walk it on down. And these clips, I've taken this piece off many times, have not broken a single one. They do last pretty well, so feel free to give it a little bit of force, but keep in mind you are dealing with plastic, so it always has a chance to break. And then we'll work from this side here. So now that all the clips are popped out here, we're going to pull this back. Bear with me because I am doing this with one hand. We're going to pull this back. This clip just pulls out. There's no, connector. There's no locking tab or push tab for that connector. This one here, this white tab here, that is a locking tab. You simply just pull up on it, and then you'll be able to push in on that black piece to then get this connector out. So now I have taken that piece out. Now we'll work on this piece here, going around. Same thing, start at a corner or the top. Same thing, once you get a good spot and you've pried it up quite a bit, just work your way around. But I always get to about the middle, and then I start on the other side. I work my way down again, so then the middle doesn't have any stress to where you could break the plastic if you just work from one side to the other. Always start up in the corners and work down equally to the middle, just to save yourself the hassle of possibly creasing or breaking this middle part here. Once you have popped it all off together, there's just these little foam pieces as part of the vents. They'll give you a little resistance, but don't worry, there's nothing else connecting it inside. It literally just falls out like that. Now we are left with taking out 6 7mm screws, or bolts I guess you could say. We're going to be taking out 2 here to pop this piece out, and then on each side it's going to be 1 here, 1 here, and over here on this one here. And that's it. So just to recap, we have 7mm bolt here, here, and also up here. There's 3 on each side, right here, here, and here. Once you take those out, then you'll have enough space to get behind this black piece here. Keep in mind though, when you take these screws out, there is a plastic clip in the corner right about here on each side. It is a little tough, so it just needs a little extra persuasion with your clip tool. This is where the hook part comes in. I usually go in right here and give it a good pull, pry it off, coming this way. Shouldn't give you any other problems. So once you've taken out all the screws and popped the clip up in each corner, that is the clip right there. Pop it in each corner. This can kind of fall out here. Be careful because you still have wires all connected. We don't need to take this off completely at all. What we're focused on is this right here. Now yours will look a little different because this is already my aftermarket switch, but it's the same size, same kind of piece. It's held in by 2 screws, 1 on each side. Take the 2 screws out, and that airbag indicator light can just come out of here, and you can put that aside for now and begin the wiring of this aftermarket switch. So now we will need to take off this side panel here. It's all held on by clips, as is everything else. So just get down in there and kind of pry yourself out. Just kind of falls out. One note to mention, after this is out, that little cutout right there in the foam, this plastic piece right there, rests in that. So when you're going to put it back in, you want to rest it in that little cutout that it has, and then you can pop the clips back in and align it properly. So now we're looking at the BCM down there. Specifically, we're going to get out that pink. So once you pop this panel off, go down here. I already pulled them out. This pink connector here is the second from the right. This brown one here is just on the left side of the pink connector, so making that the third from the right. You need the pink connector primarily, or only, sorry. You need the pink connector here to tap in for your the trunk signal wire that will command the trunk release to open or not. It's kind of hard to tell in the video. There we go. It is a yellow wire with a bluish green trace on it. It is the only yellow and blue wire on this connector. For your reference, if you're looking, this is the top side here. Over here, this wire is three holes up, and it's the farthest on the right there. So pull this wire out of your way, strip it, and connect it however you want. If you want to use one of those wire connecting tools, go for it. Or if you want to solder it, that's obviously the best way. I didn't have either, so I improvised. I just stripped out the wire here in the middle. I didn't cut it. I just stripped the insulation away. Stripped the end of my red wire from the switch right there. Stripped that, and I just tied it around like a bread tie, and pressed down on it tight and wrapped it in electrical tape. So it's working for now. It should continue to work. I've done things like this before and they tend to last, especially since this area of the car isn't going to be bouncing around. Everything's pretty secure. So, but however you want to connect your wires, up to you. But your red wire on this aftermarket switch goes to the yellow and blue or green wire here. And then this is optional. If you are just installing your own switch from O'Reilly's or AutoZone that isn't an OEM switch, you're gonna mount it somewhere else, you can disregard this, but my switch comes with the USB port right there. That USB port you can charge your phone from. And the white wire here on the back of this connector is the power to the USB port. So you could tap into the cigarette lighter, which is a big purple wire, but I couldn't find it right away, so I just gave up and moved on to this red wire here with, I believe, a purple tracer in the middle of it. It is on the brown connector. It is the top right slot. So very easy. Even if you mess up and do the other red wire, the red and white one, you should be fine, because these two red wires here are both battery positive voltage. It's a constant voltage from the battery to power this BCM up. So it's hot at all times. That's why I chose this one as well, because now I don't need to have my car running or the ignition on in order to charge my phone through the port. But same thing, pick your wire, separate it out, strip it, connect it how you wish, make sure it's secure, and then you will plug them back in. The brown one will go on the left, the pink one will go on the right. Simple as that. You can run your wires however you see fit. Mine came with plenty of wire to run. And last but not least, this right here is the original airbag indicator light. It still needs to be plugged in if you want your passenger airbags to function in a crash. If you unplug this and keep it unplugged, the airbag system will go into a fail-safe mode. It will not deploy the airbags for safety reasons. So you want to keep this plugged in, obviously. So all I did was just relocate it. Doesn't matter where. There's plenty of room in here. So I just zip tied it to this frame or bracket right here. It's out of the way. It doesn't rattle. There's nothing it can really rattle on down here. It's just a bunch of insulated wires and foam. So there's no noise issue. It's out of the way. It's still plugged in. So everything's copacetic there. Now all you do is just put everything back together as you wish. But to show you an example, right now it is unlocked. I guess it helped to plug them in down here. Now that those are plugged in, that might help. Once they're plugged in, you can see right here. Make sure it's unlocked. Sorry about that. I was having some issues because the key was still in the ignition when I put it into neutral to buy myself some room. But for testing purposes, all I did, put it in park, took the key out. I can lock the doors and it will not open. Otherwise you would hear it. Because it's tapped directly into the factory trunk release wire. But as long as it's unlocked or out of drive, just go over here, open up, and you can hear, hopefully, that the trunk is now open. That's all there is to it. Be careful putting everything back. It's pretty simple though. It's all plastic clips. If it doesn't align well, rethink it. Don't force it. It's all going to align back perfectly. And there you have it.